Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Thursday Throwdown. That's right, we're live. It's Jim Flanagan here, fellas, and we're coming to you guys live. We've got topics, we got discussion, we got recaps, scores, you name it. And as always, I'm joined by here with my partner, Giant918, on the set here. And as always, also, we've got the usual suspects already coming in the chat there. The live chat is active. If you guys got any questions, comments throughout the show, just post them on there. I will be monitoring that. Giant, what's up, brother?
www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of co-workers of mine. Shout out to John, my IT manager, Leprechaun Jr., and shout out to Howard the Hammer Haber. Unfortunately, he is too old to play quarterback this season for ACFL South. I know one of the teams could have used him, so I just want to give a quick shout out to those guys. As you stated, Flanny, a lot of things to go over today. Lots of issues with films last week as well. It's absolutely embarrassing for the league over here. We are looking for a cameraman desperately. If you guys know any students that could film something like that, what an absolute disaster last week. Jim, I think we only got one game on film, and they're trying to get you to go to multiple games. You cannot do that. Absolutely disgraceful. We don't even have a top 5 plays of the week. It's just embarrassing. And some of these game recaps we got as well, it's embarrassing as well, Jim.
And I agree. It did hurt the show, the Throwdown show. We had a thing going here, Giant. I agree with you on here. We were brought in to help rebuild the South, man. And I think up to this point, we've been doing a hell of a job on there. But without having any film this week on the South Touch does hurt. We've had multiple. We were talking about 3 games a week on film here in the South so far consistently, But we did try filming some of the flag games there. A lot of things went down there. I'll get to that later in the show, Giant, because it just didn't work out. I was supposed to at least get 2 games, but scheduling-wise, game-wise, just a whole mess, total mess. Fortunately, we did get at least 1 game. It was a great game there between the Bears and the Happy Team there in the flag 6-on-6. But Giant, let's start off here. Let's talk about the South here, man. Let's recap.
All right, so we're going to go over the first 2 games, which are absolute blowouts. Not a shock over here. The Field Mob Assassins continue their dominance. 44-6 is the win. Are they unstoppable? Should we just give them the belt? As of this point, Jim, it absolutely seems like that is the case. This is a very lopsided victory. They had no remorse whatsoever against their opponents. How much more can you say about this game, Flanny?
Not much to say. Besides, Field Mob came 6 points short of putting up 50 in this game. 44 points. That's just. We said. This team was projected prior to the season start as steamroll the competition here, and they're doing just that so far here. But besides the offense, Giants, besides putting up 44 points in this game, they only allowed 6. They've only allowed 12 points. Total of 3 games played. They're 3-0 right now. 12 games, 6 points in this game, 12 all season. That's averaging what? 4 points they give up each game.
Yeah.
So they only got to score 1 touchdown, not pretty much to win the games. But the only thing I got to say this, though. I got to say this for the Field Mob team. They've had a pretty easy schedule thus far so far. Coming in. So, who did they play? They played the Warriors this past week. They played the Wolverines week 1. And those 2 are the bottom teams right now, winless. The only really competitive team I would say is the 6. But the 6 were missing a lot of guys, no quarterback, a couple other key players. So, I really can't, factored that in as much. But hey, I mean, they're playing who they got in front so far, and it's not pretty. Yeah, top number one team right now, 3-0. They're sitting first.
Okay, so we're gonna go over the next game and another absolute blowout. Shout out to my boy again, Dave, over here on Ozone. Excuse me, and him and his team.
You keep downing them, man. You keep downing them each week, though, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, this is crazy. They got a shutout versus 10-yard fight, and the last time 10-yard fight got blown out this bad was in a championship game versus the Morris Jokers in the Spring League, 2018. So what actually happened over here? Now, the information that I received was that Kevin, the quarterback for this game, was not available. So that's an issue because I remember their whole team and they rolled pretty deep. So if Kevin is not there at quarterback, I have no idea who's going to be quarterback for them.
And I believe it was Mario that came in, the quarterback. Nothing against the guy, but it's a whole different team. And we mentioned how key spot that quarterback position is, not just to this team. I mean, look at some of these other teams. Look at when Six doesn't have their quarterback, got shut out the prior week.
Yeah.
Look at the Wolverines, how their struggle has been going on. Why? Quarterback spot. And now 10-yard fight not having that on here also. But still, factoring that in, 39-0 Giant. Oh man, I mean that it's one thing not have the quarterback, one thing to lose, but this was a complete blowout here in this game. I believe Mario came in and got picked off right off the bat. Like probably first play, first possession, or first two possessions in this game. And we mentioned Ozone last week. How they didn't blow the Warriors out, but could have easily been capable of because of a lot of drop balls, a couple of key guys not being there. Looked like they had everybody there, and looked like with a score of 39-0, they must have connected. So they must have corrected those mistakes in from week 2.
No question. Okay, and here ends up being the game of the week.
And Giant, when I heard news Kevin was not going to be there, 10-yard fight, that is one of the reasons why also waved me of not coming to film, because Field Mob was playing the Warriors. Then you had this game, which I thought was going to be a good game, but without a quarterback there, you never know. And then so the only really competitive game here, was which we're going to get into, was that 6 against the replacements. So, go ahead, man.
Yeah. All right. So here's ends up being the game of the week, the upset. The 6 rebounds this past week with a win over the replacements, 34-27. Why don't we go over the recap over here, Flanny?
Well, pretty much a shootout, man. I mean, this thing was a shootout, offensive.
No defense.
34-27. Just both teams came out here slinging it, man. Big plays, deep balls here in this game, connecting by both sides, and it pretty much came down to what team could have got that stop. And I felt the 6 here did come up with 2 crucial stops in this game. One of them being the very last play of the game. Replacements still had the ball to try to tie this up. They stopped them and got the 34-27 win here. What about these stats, Giants, man? Chris, Magz there, quarterback for the 6.
Yeah.
Back this week. 5 TD passes this week, 5 touchdown passes, 4 of those going to Nelson of the 6. That's just unbelievable stats there. And look at this team, man. I mean, look at this team. They don't get as much credit as they deserve, especially with that shutout loss or the prior week. But factor this in, man. The games that Magz has played for this team, week 1 and week 3, they are 2-0 with this guy. He's got 8 TD passes on the season so far, and with Nelson being out there not having to quarterback, this first time we saw Magz and Nelson on the field. So Nelson wasn't there week 1, and look what they do, man. 4 touchdown receptions there for him, and replacements. Another tough loss here, Giant. Another tough loss here for them. Game could have went either way, but 6 winning in the shootout.
Yeah, And shout out to Magz, too, because he ended up getting you the recap on this game. He gave us a little bit of a scouting report on the Ozone game as well. So shout out to Magz over there, and congrats on the 5 touchdowns for last week. Do you want to go over the
with the replacements though? I mean, losing this game here, I mean, the game could have went either way. And same thing when they played in week 1 against 10-Yard Fight. I mean, I know the team is 1-2. They easily could be 3-0 right now. So it's not a team to overlook on here. This team can win any week, any Sunday, like you say, Giant. They're at 1-2 right now, but definitely, I don't believe the record shows these guys have a lot of talent there. Just been losing a lot of close games.
All right, so we're not going to go over the prediction yet, guys, for week number 4, but because we got to go over other important stuff. I mentioned about how pissed off I was at the beginning of the show. And first of all, we want to congratulate the voice on getting his own show with Sirus Radio. But the fact of the matter is there's an issue with the ACFL. This is week number 3 now without a second camera crew. So what does this mean for the ACFL? Mike McCarthy has not been around yet, and all I hear is a bunch of emo on the forums over there at acfl.net. Is Flanny the only guy filming? Where is he filming this week? Jim, I'm ready to vote you for president of the ACFL. I don't know, or president. I mean, I don't know what to do over here. Very frustrating. He used to film exclusively on the Hackensack field on the turf, and they don't have Paul Robertson. He used to do the Pagoda fields because they had the bleachers. There's no filming at all if there's no bleachers. What's going on, Flanny? What do you have on the latest on this?
Yeah,
it sounds very urgent.
Well, listen, there's no film, period. Up there, and it sucks. It sucks. I mean, I'm only one guy, so I could only get what I could, and this week hurt too, man, because this week I try to get some of the games. Here's what happened.
That's a story in itself. It's very important people know. You can't be doing 2 friggin' games a week at 2 different fields, man.
Well, here's the thing. When this Sunday came up, knowing XYF quarterback was not going to be there, knowing we're going to get a possible blowout there with field mob team, so really we're only getting 1 game in the touch there. So I looked at the schedule. Now, the only thing that I hate is I wish we knew this prior to the season started, we knew there was not going to be a film or there wasn't going to be filming in the north there, because then maybe we could recap the whole league, not just the touch, maybe we could cover more film as well to spread it out. I did go over there. I did go over there this week, I saw some key matchups there. Initially, I was tossing between getting the Bears, Happy Team, the 2 games in Orange Park, or going to Bloomfield, getting the 8-on-8 flag and the Cobras and the All-Stars. The 2 main games that I saw that was good was that Bears game and was the All-Stars game. And then I'm like, hey, look, the fields are only like 10 minutes apart. I actually could get both of these because since game 1 here only starts at 9 o'clock, and the other one don't start till 10:45. I could easily do this. But what happened? Game starts like at least 9:15. We weren't done till 10:40. I mean, usually these games go hour 15, maybe hour and a half at the most, but hour and 40 minutes. Then I got to pack up, drive there. I didn't make it, man. I didn't make it to that. Unfortunately, I wanted to get the Cobras All-Stars. And then on top of that, when I'm looking at the schedule, only other late game left was that NPI game in Hackensack. So I drive down there. I get there. I only see like 3 NPI guys out there. I'm like, what's going on? It ain't going to be worth it. So, yeah, we got stuck with the 1 game, unfortunately. But, I mean, you mentioned about the film, what's going on here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much details as it goes. I mean, I've heard a lot of things. There's speculations on here that I could tell you about. I mean, one of the things people say, yes, you mentioned the voice getting that radio show and stuff. Has he lost interest, or does he have the time to do so? Because unlike us Giant here, they're based on more of the sponsorship. It's more of a business type of thing over there. You know what I mean? Where is it a sponsor thing that's not happening? No, are they not getting the sponsors to have the film, or is McCarthy himself just not filming? You mentioned the fields. Yeah, somebody told me that this guy only films when there is bleachers, you know, like that. But there is no Hackensack turf field this season. There is no East Orange Paul Robeson Stadium or Bogota bleachers, you know, because in the fall there's a lot of football games, Pop Warner games, high school games, whatever it may be,
Sure.
on those fields, so they can't get them, you know. So and some guys don't like to film on the ground or don't do it, you know. Is that a factor? You know, me personally, I mean, I film whatever field, you know. Bleachers is a plus to have, but not all of them will have it, and you got to understand that, you know.
Right.
Rahway doesn't have it. Hey, I went to freaking Orange Park. That thing was so bad. So worse. It had like this whole big patch of sand over there, you know, in the middle of the freaking field. I don't know why the refs didn't move the field to the side on there. I mean, it made the Rahway field look good, you know, on there. That's how bad. And no shots taken on Rahway, but I'm just saying, you know. So you're gonna get stuff like that. You know, but yeah, McCarthy's been a ghost so far. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, right now, unfortunately, they get some other cameraman.
Yeah, we don't get all the information either, guys. If you take a look at the forums on ACFL.net, a lot of emotions run on there. Instead of getting us some info, no, it's not going to happen anymore. Don't worry about my sponsors. I own this thing. Come on, man, stop being a dickhead and just tell us what the issue is. Is McCarthy coming back or not? So we're basically being held hostage over here. Once again, Jim Flanagan is the only cameraman here, so we need JT. Shout out to JT as well. He's going to end up letting Flanny know where he needs to film this week. It's going to end up being guys that we have a film, you know, we have a game of the week or whatever, but it's hard to predict, man. Much better when we had a camera crew up north. Much better when we had a camera crew down south. Not the case right now. Desperately looking for someone to film the games. Get to JT as fast as humanly possible if you could. Anything else you got on this, Flanny? If not, we will give our predictions for the ACFL.
You mentioned about the message boards. I just want to say one thing, because I keep getting messaged about this. They call me. There's a guy on there. I don't know if it's Jaffo, Jafo. You know.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd like to have him on the show too, Jaffo.
Pretty much.
I'd love for him to come over here.
Just a FN observer. That's what it stands for. If you guys didn't know, but. No, here's the thing. There's a lot. I don't know who the guy is, but I get blamed a lot of times. They think it's me. It is not Jim Flanagan. I'll tell you.
No, he's not. You post your name as is. You know.
A lot of guys believe it is. And then I keep getting message on it. The guy knows a lot of the stuff. Maybe that I think that's one of the reasons why. Or a lot of people wouldn't know some of the stuff he knows, so he might be getting some inside.
He
might have a lot of inside info on there. Some guy that's been around or knows somebody, but it's definitely not me. But he does bring up a lot of good key points. We check some of those topics on there, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm looking at this week's schedule. I mean, I'll give you my pins, what I think, what I want to film this week. And, we'll talk about that big game of the week in the ACFL Touch. That's definitely on my radar this week, Giant.
Yeah, it's on my radar too, man. For damn sure, everybody knows for damn sure these three teams are showing up. Jim Flanagan is going to be over there filming it. And we're going to get lots of tape, lots of highlights. And it's plastered all over Twitter. Working on Instagram too. Is that right, Flanny? We're working on getting a new Instagram as well.
That's right. I got a message earlier this week, and they're like, "Hey Jim, why not? Where's the Instagram?" I'm like, "Hey, you're right,
guys.
You're right."
Guys, it comes down to this: if your girlfriends or your younger brother, older brother, if they want to come, they could film it on their fucking phone. Okay, guys, the cameras are good enough. Get us something, man. Get some film out there. anything for you to say, man. You could use the zoom in function. I mean, you gotta be, extremely mentally incapacitated not to be able to film a game. You could stop recording the things as well during the film. I think. I don't know for sure.
Even just highlights, man. A highlight here and there for the top 5 plays is great enough. It's good enough too. Those could be submitted to us easily.
Make sure whoever you have filming, they need to hold the film on the side. You need to hold it in landscape version. Okay, you morons? You need to make sure if somebody's taking pictures or somebody's taking film, it needs to be sideways, landscape. You can't be going up and down because then you see the stupid black shit
on YouTube.
On each side of the thing. So please.
Annoying,
we want you guys to record, but don't record like a moron either, okay? So record it in landscape view if they're running the video, okay? Even the microphones on these phones are pretty damn good these days.
They are. We
really appreciate it over here at the ACFL Media because the other guys just got blood coming out of their whatever and posting like a bunch of dicks.
Well, here's the thing, man.
ACFL message board.
There's a lot of guys that complain, Giant. They'll say this, but they don't offer any type of solution either. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could,
You see, I'm offering suggestions. Even something as small as holding your phone sideways past your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mom, your dad, your kid. I don't care.
Strap on a GoPro.
There. Yeah, man. No, because I know GoPros are expensive too, man. But if you could get anything out there, man, we appreciate it, guys.
Get one of those that fly up in the air, man.
All right, guys. So we're gonna move along to our predictions for week number 4. The first game we got up on the lineup, it's over in Rahway, ACFL South Touch League. At 8 a.m. is going to be the Wolverines versus 10-yard fight. And I think 10-yard fight is going to come back from this. They're going to win this. I think Kevin's going to be back. I don't think they're going to have an issue winning this, Flanny.
If Kevin's there, they shouldn't. But Wolverines had that extra week, Giant, on that bye. Let's see if they did anything or change what changes have been made for the Wolverines. That's what I'm looking forward to see, if any. If there hasn't been, 10-yard fight should win this game. But don't be surprised if we see someone familiar on that Wolverine sideline this Sunday, man. It may happen. So,
all right, we'll see what happens. Next game we got this should be a very competitive game. 9:30, and hopefully the game of the week is going to be the Field Mob Assassins versus Ozone, both high octane teams. I'm predicting both of these teams to be in the finals as well. But the fact of the matter is that Field Mob has historically been a dangerous team throughout history, and I think they will end up squeaking this shootout in the end. Final score is going to be 36-31 Field Mob. Flanny, who do you got on this game?
Hey, this is going to be an exciting game. That's for sure. I mean, both teams know how to score, man. Both teams know how to put up points here. You've seen Ozone 39 this past week. Field Mob 44. Combined, these teams scored, over close to 80 points, So you're going to see, and both teams got pretty solid defense there. Ozone with a shutout win last week against 10-yard fight, where I also mentioned Field Mob only given up 12 points all season. So something's got to give. I think, it may come down how we saw the 6 against the replacements this past week. Who could get that stop? Who's going to get that key stop on defense to win it? Because we know both can score. And right now I'm leaning towards Field Mob. I think they're the better defensive team on here. But, it should be a tremendous game here right away, early here, week 4, and we get this big matchup here, top 2 teams. Someone's going to stay undefeated, Giant, and one team's going to get that big loss in that loss column. Let's see if Field Mob can remain perfect here. They should be the favorites coming in here, but Ozone, can pull the upset here. Definitely, especially with last week's showings on here, that 10-yard fight game. If they come out with that same intensity right off the bat, they came up with defensive points too in that game. So, but somehow, Giant, I'm still leaning towards Field Mob, man. I still think they've got, talent-wise here on both squads is tremendous. Each got playmakers out there, but I'll go with the more veteran team, a team that's been around in the league as well, and that's the Field Mob.
All right, and our final game of the week, the 6 has a bye this week, so the final game of the week is going to be the Warriors versus the Replacements, and the Warriors continue to be in free fall. I have no idea if they're ever going to get a win this season, but they continue to play the game, so shout out to the Warriors for at least getting guys out there, man. I think the Replacements are absolutely going to destroy them. 28-7 is going to be the final on this, Flanny.
Yeah, Replacements should win this game. Like I mentioned before, this is not a 1-2 team. Record-wise, yes, that's what it shows. You look at the standings, but this team could easily been 2-1 or 3-0 at this point. And I think they get it done here, bounce back here after a disappointing loss last week against the 6 here. And, until the Warriors show otherwise on here, when you lose 44-6 Giants, something ain't right. So, Reps got to win this game here. Big game here for them as far as standing wise goes. Now they've had a tough schedule so far. I mentioned
yes, they have.
I mentioned the weak schedule that Field Mob and even Ozone has had so far. Both of those teams playing teams without their quarterback, and they've played the bottom teams there. Replacements actually is the opposite. They played 10-yard fight. They played the 6 on here already, and now they're playing the Warriors here this week. And I think it's a must-win here for the Replacements if they want to move up in the standings.
No question. So this is where we're at, guys.
But look, a win with the Warriors here, just as bad as the Warriors are, a win here by the Warriors, a Replacements loss on here, that puts the Warriors ahead of the Replacements. So, so that's something the Warriors got to look into. They want to move up one spot, they could do so right here with just this one win here this week.
All right, so that's all we got for tonight. Anything else you got on your
Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking about, where am I filming this week, basically? A lot of guys asked me to, what's going on. Last week they didn't know where I was going. I definitely want to get this mob game. What also happened initially, they were at the 11 o'clock game, which was perfect. Everything ran. The reason why I like that on there, I had a chance to get the Canes. Flag 8 on 8 in the morning, 8 o'clock, and I would have had plenty of time to get there to the 11 o'clock game to get the Field Mob against the Ozone. And I think that would have been great footage for the week. Unfortunately, this game got moved to 9:30. I don't know what the reason is, but it got moved to 9:30. So now they're in the middle there. I can't do that. That option's no longer there. There hasn't been an 8 on 8 flag film yet this season, and that's disappointing there, especially a team like the Canes, man. I've always filmed the Canes, I wanted to do them this week. I was very close until last night. The schedule got switched there, and I'm looking there. It's going to be very difficult for me to do something like that. Looks like I will be doing a touch. I want to definitely get this game. This mob team against Ozone, it's a game that has to get filmed here, especially that we've been filming so much so far already in the touch here.
First 2 weeks are in the back.
And I've heard on the flag that we've been filmed like the first 2, 3 until 4th week anyway. So, maybe McCarthy comes out this week. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys. So make sure you continue to check us out. www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Jim Flanagan, Giant918, signing out. Have a good night, everybody.